for the Vi, seeing how much work Shadow was able to get done with that in the first game. So with that being left open, if they opted into the Jayce here, I'd be pretty surprised, because that would signal that you want that at least, right? You want that AP jungler to go alongside it, but it would leave it open for Shadow to take it away. So it would kind of signal to me that maybe RNG would have, you know, a card up their sleeves, Oisin, as they say. Not very comfortable if you've ever actually put a card up your sleeve.
I mean, it
can't lead you to winning games.
Sure, a regular card is like whatever. You just kind of forget it's there, right?
I guess it depends on,
Have you ever had a card up your sleeve? Answer me this now. Have you ever had a card up your sleeve?
They did it. They took away the Elise. They took away the Elise. They got the Tristana in there for Dream. And now we have to see, what was RNG thinking when they're like, hey, we're fine giving away this pink because, you know, we have an AD mid laner. We probably want an AP jungler. The Gragas
is that a card? And is it up their sleeve? I need to know. Sorry, this is going way too far into a territory I did not anticipate. But yeah, I mean, look, the Tristana's been honestly an incredible pick coming into the meta, and people like you, Gala, specifically, is kind of coming to my mind as like very heavily prioritizing this into almost all mid lane matchups. And to be perfectly honest, it could still be a Jayce in the mid lane. You know, can be a bit of a flex. Actually, the Gragas and the Jayce are a great flex because you get to see kind of what's on the board and then decide what you want to go for. With the Elise locked in, with the Aphelios locked in alongside that Gragas and the Jayce, you are going to look a bit more in terms of where NIP want to go and how they want to try and kind of, you know, bring this composition around, because the thing they're missing a little bit at the moment is that kind of hard engage that they had in the first game.
So yeah, still some options there. Maybe not as many, with you already banning out things like the Scion. Of course, we do still have the Ksante, so I wonder if RNG would be a team that would opt into taking away something like that. And as NIP, you know, you could be the one looking for that on 4. You can already see them kind of signaling if they want to look for this kind of pseudo all-in dive composition with the fact that they're taking away the Renata.
Yeah, taking away the Renata, I do like the response here from RNG and saying, look, Zhuo, you're not going to get the engage or the easy engage from the Rakan, especially with the extra buffs that the Xayah does give to them. So RNG happy to take that one off the board. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a, I was going to say actually say a Nautilus ban, but the Leona kind of fits in that same wheelhouse as well. So NIP, they will get themselves the first pick after this, and Nautilus wouldn't be too bad of a pick, to be perfectly honest. Point and click CC, get that hook dredge line to try and separate the team out, and also a bit of a front line available to this Tristana and Xayah as well.
Yeah, they could go that way, but RNG reading that one well, because maybe they were angling for going for support with the fact that not only do they have like Ksante, but Renekton's left open, which we know that can pair very well with the Elise as well. And, you know, even though it's not, I guess, as easy of engage, still having point and click CC. And, ooh, I would love this. Please. We've already seen this within the past week to very good results. But it looks like
NIP,
they might just go with the stock and standard that we predicted, lock in the Ksante, have the engage, run into them, be able to find your fights, but not have as many laps. And what are we here for, Sheen? What are we here for?
Just to suffer. Not going to be having the best time of our lives, unfortunately, but thinking about going back towards that Wukong, we have seen a little bit of a flex for the Wukong. I think a couple of regions, I can't remember what team it was, took it to the top lane instead. So, but that was with the Vi. They kind of took the Vi into the jungle and then put the Wukong top. I can't remember who it was. It was definitely in a major region. It might have been Elise. I'm not quite sure, but RNG happy to go with the, okay, they're going to go with the Heimerdinger now. So, bit of a curious one in my books, as Ming definitely feel like one of those champions or one of those players. I feel like when he feels a lot more impactful when he is on something that has that, you know, kind of hard engage, but opting in for something a little bit more nuanced and lane controlling and also objective controlling as well. And maybe NIP have a little bit of a response to that as well. A bit of sustain coming out here, and the Soraka is a bit of a silent carry in herself as well, because just you don't really notice the amount of healing and sustain she can give to things like the Tristana and the Xayah, especially with that big ultimate.
Yeah, and now, again, I like it coming in for NIP. I mean, just being very interesting with their drafts in these 2 games, but still keeping it, I think, pretty straightforward. I mean, the team fight's going to be there. They're going to have the engage. The sustain coming out from the Soraka is going to make them incredibly hard to be able to burst out. They have the Elise to try to enable them in the early game and this kind of mid-jungle snowball mechanism to get them off the ground running, to where when you look at the side of RNG, Does look like it's going to be Breathe, the one piloting the Jayce. We have the Gragas in the mid lane. It's going to be
Tristana is going to be exceptionally powerful. It's all about how they want to try and kind of, you know, move around this Tristana, because you give her a couple of minutes on it, not a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds on a turret in the top lane or in the side lane, it is going to go away. That, you know, you get so much power with that Kraken Slayer into the Navori quick blades that you're just going to be able to burn down towers so quickly.
Yeah, we got to see something from RNG, because I'm not having a ton of confidence coming into this game. Maybe Breathe will be able to put up a better performance this time around. Has played the Jayce twice so far this split. Both of them were losses, though. So, and after game one's performance, again, really need to see more from the top lane. Had great team fights. We saw some good needleworks, but constantly getting picked off in sides. And that's going to be even more of a threat this time around. Ksante and Elise, so much CC between them to be able to take you down.
We'll see what they want to go for. Going to be a pretty easy setup for the moment to kind of see that both junglers happy to start on the Raptors, move forward from there. They are on Vision as well. They don't know that they're on Vision, but they have a pretty decent idea of where things are going to be going. And Breathe, I think another carry in this side lane up against Invincible. And Invincible's kind of happy with this, you know? Like, this is why you pick the tank matchups. It's why you're happy to kind of take the Ksante, because not only do you have your own little bit of kill pressure should Breed overextend looking for trades, but you've got that priority to be able to say, look, I can soak up as much as you can possibly throw at me as long as I play this correctly.
Yeah, he'll be able to do his job. And honestly, even if he goes down, right, when you're Ksante, it doesn't even really mean too much, because you'll still be able to have a useful job later on as the game prolongs. But looking at the early game specifically, we've kind of hit on, this is for NIP what we want to see, kind of similar to last game where we said this about mid-jungle. I feel like it's a bit different this time, where last time was a lot about, you know, Ahri getting out of lane and linking up with Vi. This time, it's about Shadow kind of hovering around mid. You can see if you can find any opportunities on Angel. We said the Gragas can be a bit harder to be able to just pin down and burst out completely, but even giving him vision, making sure he's safe so he can constantly bombard those turrets in mid lane, get plates, and get to a point where he is just a massive threat that RNG can't deal with.
The junglers find themselves in that top lane as they want to try and make an impact here. It's going to be a 2v2 at level 2 for the top laners. There's no knockback there available for Invincible. Just get a bit of a grass proc, but now he's taking a hell of a lot of damage flash for flash. And a knockback means that Breed will win that trade. And look, to be honest with you, it was definitely more Shadow looking to cover than it was looking for him to gain anything else out of it.
I think Shadow actually was the one who proactively wanted to find the gank. Wei, I think, was reading it well, but with both top laners having to burn flash, we're going to see if Wei now can take advantage of this. Breed stacking a wave, but even then, again, it's still Ksante can be in a bit of an annoyance to go for any sort of dive. Having that CC come out with his third Q, keeping a turret a little bit longer than you would otherwise hope to be.
And we're going to see this kind of pretty much throughout the first few levels. It's kind of how things go right now. Actually, interesting enough as well, you see Gala taking a lot of respect from the fact that there's an Elise in this game, kind of comboed up with something like the Soraka and the Xayah, because you go in for the Doran's Blade. Normally we do see the Aphelios is kind of going very much into the Cole looking, or even just straight up a longsword, just because you know they want to just farm. They're happy to get up to that first item, but knows that if he gets caught, he is going to be dead. So he needs that extra little bit of HP, and maybe could change things around.
I mean, hell, he might get cut out right now as Shadow being very proactive, knowing what his role is in the squad once again. Zhuo chunked pretty low, but I don't think it should mean too much. Now we're going to see Shadow should at the very least get some summoners here.
He should definitely get something here. There's the flash coming out, and immediately the heal has to come in as well. They will pop down a little bit of extra harassment here. Shadow taken very low. One more auto attack from either RNG, Ming, or Gala would have done it, but they knew there was Soraka. They knew she had a heal. They knew it wasn't risking a flash from the Heimerdinger to finish that one off.
So we're kind of in the same place that we were last game, where NIP and Shadow trying to be the proactive ones, trying to find aggressive kills. RNG more happy to just play off of finding CS advantages. You can see Wei now, at the very least, might even get a steal here from the fact that he saw the Elise get chunked out in that bot side and try and start building this gold lead just from having these CS leads, right? We can see it's starting to mount. It's going to mount in jungle. It's already there in top lane. It's starting to be there in bot lane. Plates are going down in favor of RNG. It's just about being able to go for that transition in mid game much smoother this time around. Make sure Gala specifically doesn't get caught out. Try and play off some of that poke from Breathe. And yeah, I mean, you have the burst, you have the damage. You have a bit more CC under your belt with the fact that you have Angel on a Gragas, so I think RNG should at least be in for a bit of a better time if Shadow can't start connecting with finding more than summoners and actually turning these into kills.
So it's all about get the summoners. First you get the summoners, then you get the regank, then you get the money. That's how it works. Can't remember what that's from. Is that from The Godfather? It was The Goodfellas.
I lean towards Godfather just because I've watched Goodfellas, not recently, but like within the past 6 months, kind of recently.
It's pretty recently.
But yeah, but you know what I mean?
It's like a 40-year-old movie.
It's a great movie though, right?
Oh, it's an incredible movie.
Phenomenal film. But not like in the last, like, let's say 2 weeks where I'd be quoting it off the
you could be
top.
like verbatim. Yeah, I got you. Oh, I think I see from chat, they're saying it's Scarface. I'm completely wrong. It's another kind of that style of movie. God, so many of those great movies.
Oh yeah, big fan of the gangster mafia movies.
Yeah, they're awesome. There's so many great like kind of actors from that as well, you know.
And of course, all
great starts.
The Italian, Italian mafia and American ones are goated, but also big fan of like obviously Peaky Blinders is a series, but like the UK ones that we've started to get like the Isles, right? You have what's that other one with Tom Hardy, Legend, where he plays like both of the main characters. He plays the main gangster and the main gangster's brother.
Oh my God, I know exactly. It's the one where he goes like, I came for a proper shootout. That one? Is that one you're talking about?
And like the movie is
exactly what you're talking about.
It's called Legend, right? I think it's called Legend. I could be totally wrong.
I know
that sounds
exactly
right
what
to
you're
me.
talking about. He
But
just plays
point
such a great British gangster. He
Yeah,
plays
the
it
movie-
in Go on,
The
sorry.
movie itself, like solid, not amazing, but his performance in the movie, 10 of 10.
Oh yeah, like you're always gonna get said. Like, have you watched Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Yeah, like again, he's incredible in that as well. Like it's
Venom,
that level of
very much the
it's just
same.
so good. Yeah.
Not like a phenomenal film or films, but Tom Hardy in them, great actor.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Like an actor can be the difference, Like an actor can legitimately be the difference between like a solid 4 out of 10 trying to get into. I'll give it a 6, 6.5.
Exactly.
It is a real big difference,
So let's kind of tangent that into the game a little bit and say, so which player, which I'll take it away. Which player on either side is gonna make this like a potential 4 out of 10 from their team to like a solid 7.5 out of 10?
I thought you were gonna say he was gonna be the Tom Hardy, but looks like Way's looking to try and make this one a little bit better for himself and his team. You are going to see the first blood going over. Way taking the tower, though, means that he is going to fall straight away after. They do get traded 1-for-1. They don't get Photic. Photic still has flash. Angel coming in, doesn't have the explosive cast. And the minion wave isn't in an ideal situation right now. The Elise is on Rift Herald, so there's not really an opportunity right now for Photic to get any kind of resources thrown back onto him. It looks like he might just be going down fairly swiftly. He does have red buff, so you need to be a bit more careful of how you kind of want to approach this one here. We should see a little bit of a move there. No way for him to kind of react to that one there. Was waiting for the Gragas, got caught by Ming, and that's a 2-for-1 trade in bot lane.
Nice CC chain, making sure that he really has no options to get away. They guarantee another plate off of it, so kind of making up for the fact that they're losing out the Herald on top side. But at least this time around, they are starting to accelerate one of their carries, because that's something we didn't see in the last game. Really, again, in Game 1, they were just trying to play only off of CS advantages. Nice to see RNG taking a more proactive step forward in Game 2.
Much better start to the game here for RNG. They actually got about 1,000 gold lead. It's kind of equaling out in a 20 CS lead in bot side there for Gala, alongside those 2 kills. So nicely done there by the RNG bot lane for the moment. It's kind of to be expected. You are a Heimerdinger lane, so priority just naturally tends to be yours. But with NIP getting the 2 neutral objectives for the moment, it is kind of power now versus power later, and looks like NIP want to build that power now.
They're going to drop that Herald in mid, doing a nice job. Should at least guarantee the charge and get some money onto Dream, who hasn't been able to get as much work done as he's wanted on this turret. Angel, I mean, post 6, right, you start posing some threat on Tristana, especially if she plays so far up under a turret. You know, body slam, cast, she's now in no man's land, and then it would be able to come through. So I like 4NIP now starting to put more resources back into their mid lane.
We'll wait. I realized I had to say something there, otherwise you might have thought you might. Well, you might have thought something had gone wrong.
We're gonna wait.
You know. Say something? No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay,
we're being a bit odd today. We're being a bit weird today.
Take the wheel. Bring us forward.
Jesus, take the wheel. That's where we're going with this one right now. Feels like we're just letting our intrusive thoughts come out and win.
I'll build it. I'll set the
stakes.
What are you building? Here we go. NIP on the map. Lego? Dream walking forward aggressively. Look at him staring down menacingly towards Angel. The minions, they're coming at him. They're getting out on one by one. But look at Zhuo and Shadow making their way down. They want to get some action going. They're clearing out vision. They're setting up Photic to be able to clear more minion waves. And RNG, they just don't even know what's coming.
My God. That was great. I enjoyed that. Does look like it's enough gold for Photic to get himself his Gale Force, or actually no, Gale Force makes more sense. I was going to say maybe go Kraken, but I think Gale Force in this particular instance definitely makes a little bit more sense. There it is. Actually, Bloodthirst are going to be the rush here for Gala. 20 seconds till Dragon spawns, and first went over to NIP, so they're happy to kind of let this reset come in from all of their carries. They're not really bothered by the set space of the game at the moment. They're happy to let their AD carries just get their items, you know, still waiting on what looks like an Immortal Shield Bow for Dream. Very odd to see that one there. Normally it is kind of exclusively the Kraken Slayer, especially for the mid lane Tristana.
Yeah, I mean, wanting to have that sustain, I guess you are going up against a Jayce, which is going to, you know, be a bit annoying once we get into these mid-game scenarios, but not quite yet. Oh, Photic going to take some damage, but this is one of the powers of the Soraka. But we need to see who can find the engage.
Oh, stolen! Straight away, there's the Moonlight Vigil coming out to pepper down some damage, but like you mentioned, a little bit of that damage just kind of gets mitigated straight away, and that's a way just kind of straight up being... I don't even think he was outsmited. I think he just got caught by the Q.
And then Dream able to use his ulti to make sure that they aren't able to find a re-engage and aren't able to get anything off the fact that they have position to be able to nice turn. Invincible! He's just gone!
My God, didn't get an opportunity to do anything. Breed saw something and just said, yep, that's what we're doing now. Took the solo bolo.
Good to see again. We hit on game one. Breed was not having the best of times, consistently getting punished in the side lane. So now him able to find a solo kill on Invincible, who, I mean, has been the mainstay for NIP and has honestly done... Ooh, Dream?
Nice flash.
That was a little bit of a delayed reaction from Angel, in my opinion, like in terms of like when the flash came out and the cast to follow up. But yeah, you got a summoner. What happened here? So
yeah, it looks like he just gets caught out straight up.
Yeah, connects some of the damage on the hammer form of the Q once he goes in, tries to run him back down, and now just getting kited out so beautifully. Breed able to use the flash to follow up. And yeah, a lot of it coming down to even just the pre-trading before we came to that replay, right? Invincible sitting on half HP, and now Shadow wanting to try to impact the top lane matchup for his side, but Wei's here.
Wei is here. Now Breed gonna go the all out to get the knockback into the cocoon as they're gonna put down a TP as well. Invincible, I'm not sure how he ended up over that side of the map, but a nice double knockback stops Shadow from being aggressed upon. The TP is there to make sure that the top laner does not die on RNG, but now you've left Dream, and I talked about it earlier there, Lyric. Actually, Dream not going towards the Immortal Shield Bow at all, just had the Vampire Acceptor for sustain, is going towards that Kraken Slayer and takes down the first turret of the game.
And now he's will start hovering down towards bot. Maybe get Scuttle Crab. There's a lot of vision here for RNG, so their bot lane is pretty safe from ganks. I mean, look at this. 3 wards across just the whole bottom half of River. But still getting some extra vision for themselves. Getting more gold onto Dream is always going to be nice. Now we're looking at next 10 seconds. Herald is going to be back up. RNG been the team now with pressure on top side, so you would think you would lean into them wanting to play for that. But for NIP, you have pressure mid. You have this Tristana who's quite massive right now. So Sheen, we might even end up with a 3v3 towards top.
Absolutely. With all the summoners no longer available, you're looking at flashes kind of no longer there for any of the top 3 on either side. So we'll see what they want to go for. That is a 3-level difference, I will say, between Shadow and Angel, and you can feel it in those barrels kind of coming in. Gala making his first rotation over, has the Bloodthirster. I do think that you're going to be a little bit late to this party, but kind of delay it off a little bit here on the side of RNG.
Yeah, please. Because I was wrong. I was a dirty liar. We don't get a 3v3. We get a huge 5v5. We're on the cusp. It's right here. Don't recall.
Nah, you jinxed
don't
it. You jinxed it.
dare recall.
You jinxed
Dream.
it.
You didn't recall.
Talked
Dream.
about
He's still
action.
here. He's still here.
Yeah, I am still here.
No, I said Dream was still here. Oh, he's
Oh,
recalling again.
I thought you said, are you still here? And I was just like, I haven't left. I even checked to see if I was muted. Because I do that a lot. Because I sneeze. Because allergies. Nature wants to kill me.
You know, my mic, I don't have a mute function. So I never sneeze or cough. I just accept and just talk for hours.
Just, you know, it's like people who are lactose intolerant. Just tolerate it. Like, what's wrong? Like, just get over yourself and tolerate it.
That's what I do. That's what we do when we're out here in the trenches.
The beauty of we're revealing the mask. You know, do not pay heed to the man behind the curtain. But again, kind of happy to take that. I kind of like that move, to be honest with you, from NIP. They weren't really in position to kind of go for it. Really don't want to be going into a fight like that without the flashes of Dream, Invincible, and Shadow. So knowing that they have a little bit of a harder time kind of making a fight work. And speaking of Dream, he's going to have to walk himself away. Photic has now been caught out by Angel, who has an explosive cast. No flash just yet, but the wish comes out from far range, means that Angel's in a hell of a lot of trouble. And that's the power of the Soraka. You don't really notice her until she's 100% bringing back the fight from a heal from across the map.
Yeah, she's always going to be such a nuisance for the side of RNG to deal with. Again, when RNG are pretty heavily indexed into like a lot of burst damage coming through, Gala only going to be the consistent source of DPS, but still even a large source of Gala's damage in teamfights, right? Is like the Moonlight Vigil going out and being able to get the largest chunk off onto people. We're going to see them now use the Rift Herald mid. Might be able to break this one down, but at the very least, it'll definitely give them pressure towards this Dragon, where they already have pre-existing vision set up. So this might be hard for NIP to contest. And with NIP sitting on 2 Drakes, they might not even opt into it.
I mean, they don't have to. Like you mentioned, 2 Drakes. Get some priority up that top side. And they will lose the tower. And sorry, the tower will be TP2, but you may be losing more than just a tower here, as Angel has got the explosive cast, and plenty of people here really love that flash coming in from Shadow just to secure absolutely everything. Dream picks that one up, and again, Shadow coming out big here for NIP.
Going to be able to make sure that they not only find a kill, but also get a turret off the back of it. RNG respond in bot lane, so not the end of the world again. They're still a team that's actually up in gold, just from what they've been able to do in terms of this time around Gala and his huge CS lead, but
Lyric,
yeah.
Why don't you be quiet for a second? We're gonna have a replay, so you can talk during this, but I'll bring it back once in a second because it's something I want to draw attention to in the items.
Wait, you told me to be quiet. You told me to be quiet.
But then I needed you to look at the items. Now you gotta be quiet, because that's a Warmog's first on Zhuo.
Yeah, that is a Warmog's first.
What do you think about that?
First? You know, 1100,
No, breathe.
Oh.
He gets himself knocked back, goes all out, flash from Invincible, and a wish, and a dream. And that is NIP picking himself another kill on that side lane. This is the power of the Tristana. And the Warmogs means the Zhuo is going to have himself more health and more regen to be able to make sure he can continue healing people up.
Yeah, needs to be at that 1100 number to be able to be getting that passive coming online, but Way now trying to run them down, so I don't care about the Soraka because look at Shadow's health bar. Actually, I do care about the Soraka because Shadow's health bar is back. And Invincible.
Exactly, and Invincible's back as well after the TP. Ming does get the bomb on top of his head. Doesn't get knocked back there. If Invincible does catch him out there, but that's a lot of summoners now worked out of RNG's favor, and that's a turret as well. And again, similar to game number 1, Lyric, we are seeing more and more proactive play coming out from NIP. This time around, though, it does look like RNG are willing to go for a bit of a side lane trade, but it's answered again straight away by Dream, kind of just getting that TP, and this is looking fantastic for NIP. They're bringing this game in their favor, and they're getting themselves into the, the more proactive positions.
They are. They've been consistently being the aggressors up against RNG, and now we're going to see potentially getting caught out this time. RNG were the ones in game 1 who every time walk into river, walk into enemy jungle, typically by themselves, and NIP were finding a lot of leeway in that way to be able to get ahead. But I want you to look at Breed's items, because Breed actually going to go with the Gore Drinker, which is something something we've seen on Jayce. I'm going to give you a bit more of that sustainability once we get into the thick of things with these close range fights. But also, I think more importantly, having the mirror mana completely stacked up, going to be putting out some pretty nice damage.
Oh, they've caught out Wei. He is going to be going down straight away. RNG getting caught out again and again. And look, the damage they tried to put down in the shadow, it doesn't work. It doesn't make a difference. And Zhuo was just able to keep everyone so healthy, so topped up.
And you said it, there actually are stakes in this game, because if NIP win this one, RA's hopes of playoffs are surprisingly still alive. A team not even on the Rift right now. Not even on the Rift today. NIP, though, we saw this in game 1, and it didn't work out for them. They almost ended up giving RNG, a favorable fight had it not been for a straight charm. They're going to look for it once again.
He was trying to find him, but Breed has already caught himself on some vision. They do get some damage on the Photic, who goes up into the feathers flying. You can see their Dream putting out some decent sustain. They get the Baron secured, and everyone starts to run themselves away. RNG, they didn't really know what they wanted to go for right there. Flash for flash. Angel can't find that one. Breed looking for Shadow, who will secure it, but it's a 1 for the Baron. RNG were so split, they kind of wanted to go for everything.
And it just looks like, again, RNG not showing up the way that we expected them to this split, kind of rearing their heads. That leadership, that veterancy coming out from the mid lane, which against Angel is a bit of a veteran at this point, but Xiaohu was the captain of this squad. It's one of the reasons why they've looked so lost ever since. It's not just about the quality of player. It's about how you bring the pieces together, and that's something they haven't been able to do. As for NIP, they have really nice coming out from Zhuo to make sure the Wukong gets locked up, and then having the damage to be able to follow through.
Now Baron available here for NIP, and with the AD carries, they'll take down turrets fairly quickly. They got to be careful of an engage coming out here from Wei. And of course, Breed and Angel on this bottom side to try and secure this dragon. Again, it's only a second Ocean here for NIP. It will be soul, or sorry, for RNG, it will be soul for NIP. But they can pick and choose whether or not they want to kind of go for this right now, and the wave clear's not really there. NIP could just forget about this if they don't really want to go for it, but they're looking to fight.
They are. We need to keep our eyes. Gala has no flash, but neither does Photic, so both AD carries are vulnerable. Photic also
Shadow does flash in, doesn't get the steal off there. It looks like Invincible's going to be taken out straight away off this fight. Wei's clone does plenty of disengage. The Moonlight Vigil lands onto Shadow. Everyone just kind of backs themselves away. Dragon and a kill. I feel like NIP, they had minions in mid lane. They didn't need to go for that.
No, I'm surprised that they did. But still, going to be able to keep up pressure in mid with the fact that Photic has first turn to that. They're going to push in this wave. And some members of RNG might be in a bit of trouble.
Oh, Breed's been caught out. Doesn't get hit by the cocoon. Shadow goes into stasis as immediately Dream flashes forward, knowing he gets the reset there from getting the Buster Bomb down. Ooh! But enough damage comes out from Breed to make sure he trades it back 1 for 1. That is not ideal for NIP.
No, definitely RNG still being able to find the morsels that are keeping them in the game. Those little crumbs machine that everyone loves to. Actually, people don't really love crumbs. What am I saying? What's going on?
Well, no, hang on. No, there is what kind of crumbs? You know what I mean? Like, is it chocolate cake crumbs? Because I like chocolate cake crumbs. You know, like the edge of the tin of brownies. You know, like that. That's very kind of like hard and crummy, but it's nice. You know,
maybe
even
it's like those crumbs
that
you can't ignore, even if you want to. Like the crumbs at the bottom of a crisp bag. They're kind of there.
Oh, they're
like,
nice.
Okay, you got to finish them, as we're gonna see here. Dream finishes them off. Shadow goes in, but that huge damage comes out for Breed at the very last second. Yeah, Zhuo as well, being actually the one to secure that one and make sure they're online. Oh, Wei.
I mean, Wei's in a bad spot right now. He gets caught by the hard CC of the Soraka. That's right. If you get caught at the end of the silence, you are a hard CC down, and you are not going anywhere. And NIP, they look like they're trying to get some more advantages off of this now, trying to get top lane as well.
NIP gonna at least be able to get this turret. You can see them having push in mid, so they should be able to rotate, reinforce their Tristana, and maybe even look for more off this, but looks like the wave had already gone in. Shouldn't be too much unless the pick comes out. Shadow? Sidesteps the cast.
Does sidestep if it takes a hell of a lot of poke afterwards. Remember, he still has the Soraka, so he's happy to kind of be pseudo-tanking for the moment. And I will say Shadow having definitely a much more muted game on this Elise comparatively to the Vi in game number 1. We will see a reset come out for the Ksante with TP available, so happy to kind of know that he's able to get himself back in. There's the Gale Force. Not going to land the Moonlight Vigil. The Gale Force for Gale Force is traded between the AD carries.
Seeing what went down Wei. I mean, Wei just wants to find these opportunities, right? They have Ming following up. Aphelios not too far, hoping they can catch off Photic, but not going to be able to do so. Another, like, drawing this Soraka has been so good, making sure Wei gets locked down. It follows up with the feathers coming through, even more, like, time that Wei can't escape, and then the burst. Able to follow up. Shin, you were hinting at that this Xayah might become a bit of a menace, and that RNG might rue the day that they let it through once again. Think at that, and I think you're right. I think the fact that it was just St. Patty's Day has given you more power. So please tell us what's next.
More power or giving me more power?
You hasn't given me anything.
Well, no, you spent a couple of days in Ireland, a couple of weeks. You know, you could pseudo claim it as your heritage because you're American. You know, they love to do that.
I mean, technically, if we're using the word heritage, it is my I think my great grandmother's from Ireland, but like I won't claim to be Irish, but you know, do come from Irish
you know what?
descent.
We respect that. We respect that. But yeah, maybe I did get some more power. The power of the Shamrocks, the St. Patrick's Day festivals. I do maintain that the American holiday of St. Patrick's Day is celebrated much bigger comparatively to Ireland. It's kind of more of a family thing here in Ireland. You don't, well, there's obviously drinking and stuff like that, but it's definitely not. A lot of people I know do not want to go out to a bar on St. Patrick's Day because it's just usually full of tourists, you know? No offense to tourists. I'm a tourist most of the time, so.
Oh, we get the flip, though. We get the flip, so we got to calm down with St. Patty's Day. Is RNG maybe celebrating with this flank?
It's going to be called out immediately. Ksante flank not to be there. Wei already using his decoy to make sure he can get himself away from that dragon. That mid lane tier 2 has gone down as well. So RNG looked for a little bit of a flip, but can't take the Baron just yet. The Xayah is going to be sent to deal with the spawning dragon. And now, right here, we're seeing RNG again having issues with the shot calling. They kind of hope and pray that it's a little bit of a Hail Mary, but now they lose Soul Point. That's going to put NIP up here onto 3 dragons, and this is just going to be much easier for NIP to control this area again.
And I thought they were potentially going to try and play around like Jayce poking out. You have a bit of disengage with Angel and like you kind of enable Gala, but the build that the Jayce is gone, they're playing for these brawls. They're playing for these skirmishes. Trying to bring NIP in.
Angel, almost damage on the hit. He's dead. Shadow's in the pit. Shadow steals. And NIP and everything the wish comes out. As you can see, Invincible trying to jump on his 80 carries. He wants Photic, but Photic goes a little bit too far forward. It ends up being a 2-for-2 trade, but the Baron to NIP and the Dragon, they get it all, Lyrics.
Some days you wake up and it's just one of those unlucky days. You stub your pinky toe at least 3 times, and that is what is happening to RNG here. Not only are they like, we're screwed, we need to go for the flip, and then someone goes down, they even end up losing the objective that they were putting it all on the line for. Man, it's rough. So that's all can be said.
That is a bruh moment if I've ever seen it. Because again, you can see what Angel wants to try to do here. He wants to try and burst out Shadow, but he just doesn't.
I mean, you can't. Like, this Gragas isn't going to solo burst out anyone. It seems like, yeah, what he's trying to do is just buy time for the Baron to get done. That doesn't happen. We see the damage able to come through. The sustain from Zhuo once again. is paying dividends in this fight. Photic just runs down Gala, does end up getting deleted in the end, but Dream, I mean, right, you have two huge marksmen to deal with. And you know, have you seen the movie Soul?
Yes, fantastic movie.
Yeah, so this to me is like RNG woke up and they're the dude. I can't remember the guy's name, but just you're walking down the road, you fall into like the pothole, and then it just turns out, you know, you have to go on this huge bad adventure from there. You know, it does work out for that guy at the end, but it's not working out for RNG.
A Disney movie has a happy end. Spoilers.
A Disney movie. Okay, oh wow.
We like to have fun here on this broadcast. We'll see Invincible take the tower, get a double knockback as well, go all out onto Breed, who wants to try and keep himself alive with the Gore Drinker, but just cannot be done. Feathers being lined onto the ground. NIP are now the biggest RA fans, or RA are now the biggest NIP fans, as they are going to be keeping RA in the playoff race. And RNG, they take a little bit of a slip. This could be a massive blunder for them to try and make it the playoffs.
Yeah, they will regret this later on, but NIP going to be looking to end their season off strong with some of these wins. Running forward into the members of RNG is actually now they're running back. You should never say anything that's hints at aggression.
Yeah, never say anything definitive. You'll just be proven wrong, and then.
But I want to see a comeback. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stop casting. We're just going to cheer on RNG. Come on, Gala. You can do this. You don't have flash up, but you have Moonlight Vigil. It goes in. It doesn't connect to anyone.
I don't know this is working, man.
Up to way.
We need Dagda. The RNG
member Cyclone
is no longer here. And NIP are just picking apart the base. They won't end the game right now, but RNG have got themselves left in tatters. And again, you've double AD carry, you've got a Soraka. There's just so little that RNG can really do. Even the Pout from the Jayce and the Gragas is just doing so little.
I mean, he didn't even really opt into going, you know, the more poke-centric route, right? Didn't go into like the Eclipse or lethality. Opted into this more kind of bruiser-esque. Like you're accepting that they're going to be able to get onto you, and they're going to be more kind of brawly fights coming on through, and that is what's happened. But sadly, it just doesn't look like they have the damage there. I mean, Gragas, despite, you know, going AP these days, you're not putting out a significant amount of damage. It is a lot more about the setup and kind of the zone control that you provide in a team fight, being able to separate people with your ult or provide the peel. Way as well, we've seen many times, just gets bursted out with how much damage NIP have online at this point. And NIP, despite only having, you know, the one tank compared to, like, I guess RNG also only have one, but you also have like these two like pseudo bruisers. They have the Soraka, which we've seen time and time again how much that's getting done. Zhuo really has had a great game so far. Shirelli's active going to be up soon, so they might even just be able to run RNG down once again.
I mean, Ocean Soul is so good for a Soraka as Invincible just puts himself right in the forefront. He's taking no damage right now. He was 1v4, and everyone was just kind of looking at him as if they kind of, you know, didn't know what to do. And now you've lost your Ignite, you've lost your flash off of Ming, you've lost so many ultimates there as well. NIP can just take this dragon for free. They don't have to force anything. They know they got this, and an Ocean Soul here for a Ksante and a Soraka is just so incredibly valuable.
And, right, let's say RNG lose this and they beat RA and they do make the playoffs. It won't be the first time that RNG has dropped the ball against a bottom tier team right before playoffs started, and then they managed to bring it back. So I will say it's not the end of the world, but still, the fact that we have such decorated players on this roster who now are in a 50-50 after this game. Like, seriously, just comes down to one game. If you lose it, you're potentially not in. It just, it's crazy.
It feels bad. It feels bad. And that last game is against RA. That is the last game. So we blame Dagda. Dagda leaves.
And look what happens to RNG.
I know. I tried, man. Like, I casted Gala. He got a pentakill. I tried my best, all right?
Your Irish accent isn't thick enough.
It's not. It's just not. It's just, you know, Dagda's so soft-spoken as well, you know? He's like a caring mother for RNG. It's just like, you know, it's just someone a calming and ever-present voice for you to kind of always work with, but it's just not to be. We do miss you, Dagda. We hope you're having a fantastic time in the LEC. And Ox as well. We lost Ox. We lost a lot of good men. I don't know why I'm talking about it. I don't know why I'm talking about it like a war, but we did.
I'm just kidding. My Cobra Kai brothers. But hey, NIP now going for Baron once again. They're just gonna get this, aren't they? RNG,
yeah.
RNG just gonna run away.
I mean, Invincible gets the knockback though. Wei did hit himself away, but Angel was not so lucky. They almost get Invincible down. The wish comes out, and your dreams shall come true. Dream is looking for an angle. Gala needs to be the carry of this game. I even love that he had to go Kemp Punk Chainsword because, or excuse me, not the Kemp Punk Chainsword, the Mortal Reminder, because he knows that he needs some kind of healing reduction here, even if it's not the most efficient thing in the world. But now without Angel, without really your kind of second form of engage, you're going to lose out a lot. The feathers will fly. Photic looking for Gala, but Gala keeps himself fighting backwards, but Invincible's already on his face. And that is most of your damage already deleted from this match. It will be NIP with the 2-0. The upset shall continue, Lyric. EDG yesterday, NIP today, and RA are the biggest of NIP fans right now because they are keeping Rare Adam alive in playoffs.
Giving them a solid hope to be able to make it. NIP, their split might be done, but still having a massive impact on the standings. And I mean, again, this is one of those teams that didn't have this roster to start off the split. They made some roster changes. They kind of waited and saw how the split went. And you said it before the series, right? They are now getting the reps in for summer. Having Shadow in, figuring out whatever the dynamic is that they want to run there. I think giving Invincible more time on stage is always nice because we've seen Invincible kind of come in and out over the past few years, mainly being used as a sub. So this is really his first time as a full-time